emission control from SI engine. So now in this session we are going to discuss about how to control the emission from SCI engine. The outline of the presentation is like this. Let us start with the major emissions from the CI engine. The major emissions from CI engines are unburned hydrocarbon, oxides of carbon, then oxides of nitrogen, and then particulate matter. This is found only in diesel engine. Okay. So now to control the emission from the CI engine, there are two options available. First option is that we can have a diesel particulate filter followed by that diesel oxidation catalyst, then an exhaust gas recirculation system, or you can go for diesel particulate filter plus selective catalytic reduction. Right? So these are the two options that are available. So let us get into the topic now. So initially, these emission control systems were adopted in diesel power plants, because in the case of diesel power plants, we are going to burn huge amount of diesel fuel, and that is going to pollute the environment. So they started with the diesel power plant, because when we discuss about the emissions, the two main contributors for emissions are, one is the power sector and other one is the transportation sector. So initially they started with the power sector, that is your diesel power plants, to control the emission from the diesel engine of the diesel power plant. And subsequently, in the case of navigation in sea, right? So we are going to use diesel engines again for marine applications also. And to control the pollution from the marine diesel engine, we have gone for the various methods of emission control system in the CI engine that are for marine diesel engines, right? And subsequently, finally, they have come to the automobile sector also, right, to control the emissions. So started with the diesel power plant, then subsequently it went to marine diesel engine, and right now we are using for our automobiles. So the major emissions from the CI engine are unburned hydrocarbon, oxides of carbon, especially carbon monoxide, and oxides of nitrogen. So this we want to remove. Okay. So the emission control technique, if you recollect in the case of SI engine, in the case of SI engine, we have used catalytic converter, right? So this will take care of all the unburned hydrocarbon, carbon monoxide, and the NOx emission by having two stages of chemical reaction. One, initially we will be having a reduction reaction, followed by we will be having an oxidation reaction. All right. So, but here that is not possible in the case of diesel engine, because we have to remove the particulate matter also. Okay. So initially what they did, they were in the case of diesel engine, the diesel engines are going to operate under lean condition. Under lean burn condition, we are going to operate. So we have more amount of oxygen that is available, and as a result, the NOx emission is less comparatively for CI engine. So they want to concentrate only for the emissions like unburned hydrocarbon and carbon monoxide. So to remove this carbon monoxide and unburned hydrocarbon, it is sufficient if you are going to have the oxidation reaction alone, right? So what they did, they went for diesel oxidation catalyst, right? And in the case of previous session, we have discussed there are two different types of catalytic converter. One we call it as two-way catalytic converter, and the third one, and the next one is the other one is the three-way catalytic converter. In the case of two-way catalytic converter, we will be removing only the unburned hydrocarbon and carbon monoxide. Whereas in the case of three-way catalytic converter, we will be removing unburned hydrocarbon, carbon monoxide, and NOx. All the three will be removed. Okay. So the same catalytic converter cannot be used for a diesel engine, because we have to remove the soot particle or the particulate matter, which is present in the diesel exhaust. So if you are going to use the same monolith honeycomb structure, which we have discussed for the catalytic converter, the size of the pores should be more here, because soot particles are available in the diesel exhaust. So to accommodate the particulate matter or the soot, the size of the pores of the honeycomb should be greater. Okay. So initially they want to use the same catalytic converter that was used for the SI engine, right? Two-way catalytic converter. They thought we can go for the two-way catalytic converter. Okay, because the NOx emission is less compared to your SI engine. In the case of CI engine, NOx emission is less. So the very common method of removing the unburned hydrocarbon and carbon monoxide is by providing a diesel oxidation catalyst, which is nothing but similar to a two-way catalytic converter. And the catalysts are going to be the platinum, palladium, or you can go for aluminum oxide, Al2O3. So this catalyst, it does the it enhances the oxidation process. The oxygen that is available in the engine exhaust, so that is provided to the hydrocarbon as well as to the carbon monoxide. So carbon monoxide will become carbon dioxide, right? The carbon monoxide that is present in the exhaust will become carbon dioxide. Similarly, the unburned hydrocarbon that is available in the diesel exhaust, that will become this hydrogen will react with the oxygen and it will form H2O, whereas the carbon present in the unburned hydrocarbon, it will react with the oxygen and it will form CO2. So in the case of the diesel oxidation catalyst, right? Assume that this is a system. So we are allowing the exhaust gas, which contains harmful gases or untreated gas. Finally, we are going to get the harmless or treated gas that is led to the atmosphere. So this contains unburned hydrocarbon, carbon monoxide, and the pollutant from the lube oil, right? So that we call it as a PAH, this is polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbon. Okay, so that that has to be removed. All these are removed with the help of the diesel oxidation catalyst, right? So these catalysts are not active for the NOx reduction. Okay, so initially they were not giving importance for the NOx, and slowly in the later stages they found that we have to go for, as the emission norms were stringent, as the evolution of the engines were moving towards zero emission, as the emission norms are stringent, they want to reduce the NOx emission even from the diesel engine also. Okay, so now how to remove NOx from the engine exhaust? So now you have gone for the diesel oxidation catalyst, which will remove unburned hydrocarbon and carbon monoxide. Now we want to remove the NOx also. So the earlier technology that we know is to remove the NOx is that the NOx is formed only because of the high temperature in the combustion process. So if you are going to bring down the combustion temperature, then the formation of NOx can be prevented. So that in the previous session we have seen, to reduce the NOx, we were using the exhaust gas recirculation system. EGR was used. So the same EGR they were planning. So if it is going to be an EGR, exhaust gas recirculation system, so for combustion you have to supply both air and fuel. So for a CI engine, air is supplied and fuel is injected. Along with the air in the intake manifold, part of the exhaust gas is allowed. So exhaust gas and air are going to enter into the engine cylinder, right? And it undergoes combustion. Since the exhaust gas is available, which is a diluent, since we are diluting the products of combustion, the temperature is less, and as the products of combustion are going to leave, part of the products of combustion is brought back. This is what we call it as the exhaust gas recirculation, and provided through the intake manifold. So to reduce the temperature of the exhaust gas, when we are going to provide recirculate this, we should provide a exhaust gas recirculation cooler also. EGR cooler should be provided, which will bring down the temperature of the exhaust gases, right? And so part of the remaining exhaust gas is going to be left to the surrounding, right? And there will be a valve, EGR valve will be there. So depending upon the engine operating condition, this EGR valve will open. The valve opening, that depends upon the engine operating condition, that is being taken care by the engine control unit. Okay, so this already we have discussed in the previous session about the working of the exhaust gas recirculation system, right? So now for removing the hydrocarbon and carbon monoxide, we have to go for diesel oxidation catalyst, and to remove NOx from the CA engine, you have to go for EGR. So both has to be employed, correct? So since if you go for the exhaust gas recirculation, because of the dilution, what will happen? Your combustion will not be proper. And when you are going to dilute, when you are going to bring down the temperature, then you are automatically you are going to reduce the NOx, but the engine power output is going to come down. Thermal efficiency of the engine is going to come down if you are going to use the exhaust gases. So that problem is there. If you are going to use EGR, then your performance of the engine will come down. So which I don't want to sacrifice, right? So next step is that they have decided that we should have better performing engine, and in turn we have to reduce the NOx. So both has to be accomplished. To achieve this, the next generation, right? The next evolution in emission control is selective catalytic reduction, right? SCR, selective catalytic reduction, SCR. So in this, so here we are going to have the diesel oxidation catalyst. Along with that, we are going to have one more concept of removing the NOx with the help of injecting urea or ammonia, right? So here we are going to have two techniques, both are going to be combined in the case of SCR, selective catalytic reduction system. Here we are going to have two techniques. One is to remove the hydrocarbon and unburned hydrocarbon and carbon monoxide using using a normal diesel oxidation catalyst. Okay. So for this, you can have a titanium dioxide as the ceramic, that is a substrate. After that, we'll be having a wash coat. Then we'll have the catalyst. The catalyst can be oxides of vanadium or oxides of molybdenum. These are all very cheap. And the other option is that if you are going to for the cheaper catalyst, this is not having high thermal durability. At higher temperature, this was not performing well. So they have gone for the other catalyst, which is nothing but zeolite. This is costlier compared to this. However, this can withstand higher temperature, right? It can withstand more than 900 Kelvin. So now we have a catalyst. We can perform the removal of unburned hydrocarbon as well as removal of carbon monoxide. However, we have to remove the NOx. To remove NOx, we are going to have either a NOx adsorber. Initially, they were having a NOx adsorber. So subsequently, they have gone for removing the NOx using injecting a diesel exhaust fluid, right? So a fluid is going to be injected into the exhaust gas. This fluid will take away the NOx from the exhaust gas, right? It will react with the NOx and it is going to take away the NOx. Thereby, the amount of NOx that is present in the engine exhaust is going to come down. So this diesel exhaust fluid is nothing but a reagent, and it can be either ammonia or it can be urea. Okay, you can use either ammonia or urea. Let us say if you are going to inject ammonia in the exhaust gas, assume that we are going to inject ammonia. When you are going to inject ammonia, our objective of using this injecting ammonia in the exhaust gas is to remove the NOx. NOx means it can be predominantly you will have either NO or NO2. Let us say you are having presence of NO and we are going to add ammonia to the exhaust, right? Your diesel exhaust. So, and it also contains oxygen. So this reacts and we will get the formation of nitrogen and water vapor. We'll have formation of nitrogen and water vapor. Similarly, if the NOx is going to have NO2, right? The presence of NO2 is there. Then by injecting ammonia, you will get again nitrogen and water vapor. If you are going to have both, right, then still you will get nitrogen and water vapor formation by injecting this. Okay. So option is that either you can go for ammonia or you can go for urea. If only ammonia is injected in the exhaust, then you will get the formation of nitrogen and water vapor. Whereas if you are going to inject urea, then you will get nitrogen, water vapor, along with that some amount of CO2 will also be emitted. Okay. So using this selective catalytic reduction process, we can remove almost 90% of the NOx from the diesel exhaust, right? So here this system is simple. Here we are not using any exhaust gas recirculation system. We are not bringing down the performance of the engine. We are not compromising on the performance of the engine. Your engine is operating as normal case, like allowing only air and injecting the fuel. We are not allowing the exhaust gas entry into the combustion chamber, right? So we are following the after treatment process. That means in the exhaust gas, we are injecting ammonia and urea, and thereby we are bringing down the NOx level. So sometimes what will happen, some of the problems are also there, but when you are going to use the selective catalytic reduction, but this is the latest model, latest emission control system. But here also some small amount of disadvantages are there. Sometimes this ammonia, whatever we are injecting, it may not react, right? And it will be expelled along with the exhaust gas. And if the engine is going to, especially when the engine is going to operate at low temperatures, so this ammonia, whatever you are injecting, that is going to come out. And let us say, if the let us say you are carrying out some emission test and you found that there is a presence of NOx, and you want to reduce the presence of NOx in the engine exhaust, assume that you are going to increase the amount of ammonia that is injected. So when you are going to supply excess amount of ammonia to bring down the NOx level, then that will have a bad impact. Too much of injection of ammonia will also result in the degradation of the catalyst. Okay, these are some of the problems, right? And also sometimes what will happen, if still the problem persists, then you have to have a NOx absorber, right? Separate system we have to attach to the tailpipe, so that will absorb the NOx that is present there. Okay, this is especially when we are going to operate at the low temperatures, right? So this is about selective catalytic reduction process. This is the advancement when compared to your initially we started with the diesel oxidation catalyst. Along with that we were having EGR. Now that has been replaced by selective catalytic reduction system, right? So this emission control system is being used. Now whether you are going for selective catalytic reduction system or if you are going for diesel oxidation catalyst along with the EGR, we have to provide a particulate filter, because soot particles are going to be present in the diesel exhaust. Okay, so we have to provide this diesel particulate filter for whatever may be the case. The emission control system can be of your diesel oxidation catalyst DOC along with EGR, or you can go for SCR, selective catalytic reduction system. In both the cases, we have to provide diesel particulate filter. Right? This is like a normal filter. Okay, this will remove the soot particle that is present in the diesel exhaust. And this diesel particulate filter is made up of a ceramic material. Mostly you will find a silicon carbide, right? Or you can go for a metal wire also, right? Like a mesh. It will be like a mesh, and that mesh will be coated with Al2O3. So the particulate matter, it will initially, because of the when it is going to pass through this metal mesh or through the ceramic mesh, it is going to get absorbed. Okay, so this diesel particulate filter, it removes almost 60 to 95% of the particulate matter, right? And let us say you are going to operate this particulate filter over a long time period. If you are going to operate this for a long time period, then what will happen? The soot that is going to get deposited or get absorbed, as a result of which the size of the pore will come down. So that will lead to the clogging of the particulate filter, right? That will lead to the clogging of the particulate filter, and over a time period, if the too much of clogging is there, then the engine exhaust cannot come out, right? It cannot pass through because the size of the hole is very small, size of the pore is very small, so it cannot come out. That will lead to the increase in back pressure of the engine. If the engine back pressure is higher, then your power output will come down. So now we have to overcome this problem. How to remove the particulate matter that are being trapped? So for that, there are two methods available. To overcome this problem, they have come out with a disposable filter. Right? This disposable filter, during the maintenance period, what they will do, they will remove the disposable filter. Maybe let us say if it is made up of a paper filter, right? They will remove that disposable filter and they will replace with a new filter, similar to your air filter, right? Which is made up of paper. Okay, so that can be done. Or the other option is that then they have come out with another option, which they call it as the regenerative filter. These regenerative filters you don't need to replace. Instead, what it will do is that whatever soot particle or the particulate matter that are being absorbed, that is again burnt, okay, completely by increasing its temperature. Okay, so this regenerative filters are filters which will burn the soot that are getting deposited by increasing the temperature. When we will do this, now let us say this regeneration can be by two ways. One is active regeneration and the other one is passive regeneration. In the case of active regeneration, or to remove the soot particle from the filter, we have to increase the exhaust gas temperature by with the help of the engine control unit. The engine operating condition has to be regulated, and the engine exhaust temperature is brought at a higher temperature by controlling the fuel injection. That means you are going to inject more amount of fuel. Your temperatures are going to be higher, and as the temperature increases, the whatever soot that is present in the exhaust or that is present in the particulate filter, that is going to get burnt. Okay, and this is done normally when the engine is idling, right? When the engine is idling, we will be now we have to supply extra fuel for burning the soot that are deposited into the filter. Other option is that to go for a passive filter. In the case of passive filter, to remove the soot deposit, we have to oxidize the soot, right, using some catalyst. Along with the fuel, we will be adding some amount of copper or iron compounds. So these are some of the catalysts which are added along with the diesel fuel, and this will make the soot to get oxidized. Soot is nothing but carbon. When it gets oxidized, it is going to leave us CO2, right? Or other option is that better you can replace the diesel particle filter and with a new diesel particle filter. You can refit with a new diesel particulate filter. So these are some of the options. You can either go for active method of regeneration, right? Initially we were having the disposable filter, then subsequently we came for regenerative type of particulate filter. Under regenerative type we have active and passive. If it is active, whatever soot deposit is there, that has to be burnt. Okay, in the case of passive method, we will be adding some catalyst, and because of the catalyst, the soot will undergo oxidation. And if you are going for regeneration, right, and you require some higher temperature, so this diesel particulate filter, if it is going to be placed closer to the engine exhaust immediately, then the temperature of the exhaust gases is going to be high, and the soot that is going to be absorbed is going to it is going to get burnt, right? So you can place the diesel particulate filter closer to the exhaust manifold. So how will you identify whether your diesel particulate filter is clogged or not? Right, by measuring the pressure drop. Right, this is one option. Or in the when you give the vehicle for servicing, they will use they will generate radio frequency waves, and if the filter is not clogged, if it is very clear, then only ceramic material is going to be there, and this ceramic material will not absorb the radio frequency waves that we are sending. Or if it is completely clogged, then the radio frequency waves is going to be absorbed by the soot, and depending upon the radio frequency waves that are going to come out from the diesel particulate filter, we can determine to what extent the filter is clogged. These are the ways by which we can detect the particulate filter clogging. Okay, so in the modern diesel engines, we have less amount of soot that is being emitted. Right, this is achieved by supplying fuel rich, by operating at fuel rich zone. Thereby, the temperature is maintained at higher, and by injecting the fuel at a very high pressure, and by creating the turbulence motion, thereby better mixing air and fuel are ensured. Okay, so these by having some various changing the engine design also, right? So thereby they are achieving the less amount of soot emission.
Excuse me, sir.
Hello. Yes.
Sir, today there will be no class now as per circular, sir.
Today we have class only from tomorrow. We don't have class only from tomorrow.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So the diesel particulate filter will appear like this. So you will have a mesh-like cross section, right? And through this, when the soot particle, when the exhaust passes, when the exhaust gases pass through, soot particle will get absorbed to the surface. So we have only two methods available, right? Either we can go for selective catalytic reduction process along with diesel particulate filter. Let us say this is the engine. From the engine, the emissions are being let out, and we want to prevent we want to prevent the pollution of the atmosphere. For that, initially in the tailpipe, we will provide a diesel particulate filter. This diesel particulate filter is going to remove the particulate matter or the soot. Now the emissions that are present are your unburned hydrocarbon, carbon monoxide, and NOx. So subsequently, after this, in the downstream, we are going to place SCR, selective catalytic reduction system. So this will remove all the three. Your hydrocarbon, unburned hydrocarbon, carbon monoxide, and NOx. To remove NOx, we have to inject ammonia, right? Or diesel exhaust fluid is injected, which has ammonia or urea, and it reacts with this, and the NOx is removed. Okay, after removing the NOx, the unharmful or treated exhaust gas is led to the surrounding. So this is the latest system. And other option is that you can go for particulate filter. Along with the diesel particulate filter, we will go for diesel oxidation catalyst. This is a two-way catalytic converter. Then to remove, this will remove only hydrocarbon and carbon monoxide. To remove the NOx, we have to provide exhaust gas recirculation. We have to provide exhaust gas recirculation. So EGR has to be provided. So thereby we can remove NOx also. But compared to the previous system or the latest system, this is slightly complicated. Okay. That's all for this session.